Well. Good morning, West Ham fans. Now, when is it time to press the panic button? Well, a very good Saturday to you. Hope your weekend's going fine. Hopefully, there's been rain. Might have a little bit cloudy. But anyway, hopefully that gets burned off by the sun anyway. Now, another week's gone. We have signed a player, so that's 2 signings now. But when do we press the panic button? And that's sort of the idea of today's show, is to get your opinions as well in terms of when do we press that panic button. I think it's fair to say, for me, the sort of this beginning of the summer transfer window started off very exciting. Obviously, we've got a new head coach. We've got Tim cooking, so to speak. Tim in, what we believe to be sole charge of bringing the players in, and we're obviously working alongside Julien to bring in the players he wants. And obviously, we did have a signing before the transfer window opened in 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉𝙄 from Palmeiras, and indeed, we obviously spoke to Tim Vickery about what he would bring. Exciting, bought very much on potential rather than the final thing. So very exciting. 18-year-old Brazilian, and he'll need obviously time to adjust and things like that. And then it's just gone quiet. Realistically, I mean, yes, we signed Wes Foderingham, and I think that was at the bequest of Julien, who wants an experienced third place goalkeeper. Which makes sense, in terms of being sort of the training goalkeeper. We had a similar thing with David Martin for a couple of years, and indeed, eventually, David he was called upon, and rather than necessarily bringing on a inexperienced someone like Nathan Trott or Joseph Anang, bringing in someone like Wes, who's played 37 times or whatever it was for Sheffield United last year, has been there, done that. Not bad guy to bring on. And obviously, we've had a few players go and leave. Obviously, we've had Ben Johnson saga. We still haven't heard any resolution really on Divine and Balmer as well. His contract runs out on Sunday. That's the last day of his contract, so he'll be a free agent. And then there's just so much uncertainty in terms of not necessarily the players we're bringing in. I mean, we've been linked to over 140 players, and we will continue to be linked to another 20, 30 before we get to the end of the summer transfer window. But pre-season starts this week, or the week coming, and I'm a little worried. I'll be honest. Obviously, we still don't know. We've got Edson's injury. Now we're led to believe that's 5 to 6 weeks he's going to be out, so which pretty much effectively misses pre-season. Obviously, the club haven't confirmed it 100% in terms of timescale, but obviously he is key to the. I mean, if you look back to Lopetegui in terms of his time at Sevilla and the important role Fernando played in that, for me, Alvarez is that Fernando role at the heart of the side, and to not have him pre-season, it's a bit worrying because it will all be centered around Edson. And it's no surprise we're trying to look for alternatives. Obviously, there's the guy from Inter Miami, Diego, and various other players we've been linked with, and lost out to as well. We know there's holes we know there's gaps in the team as well, which we need to be plugged. Obviously, we were looking at Juan from Real Betis, sort of free transfer. Looks like he's going to Bologna, according to Fabrizio Romano. So that's another one off the chart. And then we're led to be believed that we've relatively skinned. The idea is to balance the books. And again, I think PSR and FFP have a role to play in this. In that, people are worried. You can see that they're trying to utilise the loopholes, between the likes of Villa and Chelsea to try and balance the books, because they're literally in the firing line. West Ham aren't, and I think they just want to act sensibly, so they don't have to go down that route of looking for these loopholes and selling players and for maybe who are rated. I think Holly picked up one up, £1 million, and it's gone for like 19 million. It's all very dodgy. And I've been linked to players. We've been linked with the likes of Jonathan David, who's someone who's very much in our eyesight apparently, and utilising the fact that he is entering the last year of his contract. And I've alluded to the fact that actually that's part of our policy. That is part of West Ham's policy this season in terms of recruitment, to actively look for players who are going to be entering the final year of their contract, because they return a better value of money. So for someone like Jonathan David, in contract, midway through a contract, maybe looking at 50 million. Literally just plucking a number out of the hat. Now he's available for potentially less than 20 million. And so it's utilising that budget, which, we were assumed we'd have a big budget. It seems we don't have such a big budget now. So we've got the Edson Alvarez stuff. We've still got the issue with 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉 and 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉 as well, really, to be honest. Mohamed, not so much. There was an article in the Athletic yesterday, I believe, which basically said that he is very much focusing on doing well for West Ham next season. Apparently we had all the issues with his transfer release clause, which Florian Peltenberg, midway through, was it Tuesday, Wednesday this week, basically said that he was he did have an active transfer release clause, which is active now and not until next summer, which is what we were led to believe. So there's something weird going on there. We've then got the issue with the guy he's sitting next to, 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉, currently obviously in Brazil, playing for Brazil in terms of Copa America. But we've got the whole saga with him, the betting allegations. What happens if he is found guilty? How long is that going to take? Will it take forever? And then he can play next season for West Ham. There was talk he was all but out the door for Man City. And I truly believe that we did earmark that money for our transfer stealings this year. So that's probably changed the trajectory in terms of where we were going to be, in terms of the types of players we were looking at. And maybe now it's looking for those bargains, or I'm necessarily paying a little bit more to get some, that's why I think the 𝙊𝙄𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉 thing came out personally. But by all accounts, he's not looking to move in the end. I mean, Mohamed hasn't sent a transfer clause, transfer request anyway. So looking at the current squad, goalkeeper's not a problem. Not a problem. Defence is an issue. Now, we know that Aaron signed a new deal. So Aaron's staying. We know that Dinos, there's been nothing at all about Dinos at all, which is encouraging at the moment. Emerson, to be honest, there was talk of going back to Italy. I should have probably highlighted that one in red, but I haven't for the time being. Kurt Zouma, apparently not in Lopetegui's plans, but he's keen to, but he wants to stay, doesn't want to leave. Vladimir Coufal, he's linked with a move away to Galatasaray potentially. Naif Aguerd, lots of interest in Naif. He's changed management to try and push through a move, and indeed, I think the club has set quite a spicy price for him of £38 million. I know he bought him for about 30 million, but 38. Are we pricing him out of the market? Are we that desperate for money that we're not accepting 30 million? It's going to be 38 million. We've also been, there was also a report in the Turkish media looking at Jota Silva, a player we've been linked with from the Portuguese league, £17 million release clause by all accounts. Apparently, we have had personal terms agreed with him, but we haven't spent £17 million on him, which is relatively cheap considering we're spent the best part of coming up to about 15, 20 million pounds for 𝙊𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉 as well. Jota is arguably ready now. Look at the midfield. The midfield, I think we're going to at the moment in a bit of a pickle. Obviously, 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉 at the moment. Obviously, Southampton might come in back for him potentially. Lucas Paqueta, we don't know what's happening with him. Flynn Downs, likely to be off to Southampton. Mohamed Kudus, I think we're okay for the time being with him. Maxwell Cornet, is anyone going to buy him? Probably not. Edson Alvarez is out for the pre-season. Thomas Souček, Real Madrid were interested in him until according to Marca, the Spanish publication. But I don't think that was just paper talk. Said Benrahma, obviously Leon, we spoke about yesterday. Leon, the ability to buy players now could mean that Said's option on his loan for about £13 million to make it permanently could happen. Obviously, we've got 𝙊𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉. Up front, Mikel Antonio, proverbially linked this summer with moves away. Nottingham Forest being the last, but also the Saudi Pro League, Fulham, and the MLS as well. Danny Ings, a return to Southampton, around £6 to £7 million is the fee that we've been led to believe. Jared's staying, don't worry. And then we've got the question mark about Divine Mbama. Obviously, he becomes a free agent as of Monday. Monday's the 1st, isn't it? Yeah, Monday's the 1st. Those days, September, April, June. Yeah. So, worst case scenario, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 players. Now, I know this is not true reflection. I know we've got the likes of George Earthy in that squad. We've got the likes of Caelan Casey. We've got the likes of Callum Marshall to add into that squad. Plus others. I'd like to see Julie Robertson given a run out. Obviously, Freddie Potts has come back. He's technically would be in that first team squad. So it's not as tragic. But when do we press the panic button? I'm just getting a little bit tetchy over that button at the moment. Am I right in thinking about that? Should I trust the process? I do trust the process, definitely. But I think the euphoria from signing 𝙊𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉 right at the beginning, even before the transfer window, that's gone now. That's gone. Every day we're seeing some sort of rumour in terms of players wanting to leave. Now, I think that a lot of that is a hangover from the previous regime. And I think until you get pre-season under your belt and you see the way that maybe a Lopetegui coached side plays, trains, I think you'll get a lot of people maybe thinking, maybe I will stay for a bit or give it till January and see. I'm just getting a bit nervous. And it's always the case. We thought it might have been completely different, but I don't know what it is, whether it's lack of money. I mean, if we're led to be believed that Jota wants to come and personal terms are being agreed, but we won't pay 70, we're haggling on 70 million quid for a 24-year-old. 24-year-old, I want to say. Is he 24? I'm trying to find it now. Yeah, 17.1 release clause. 15 goals and 7 assists last season in the Portuguese league. Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce are sniffing around for him. Same as like Jadon Oostenvold. Same again, apparently he's available for around 15 to 20 million. But we need we need defenders. We needed defenders really in place for next week for pre-season. They've got, I would believe by the time we play Aston Villa, we've got probably 2/3 of three, at least 50% of a new centre-back partnership. We'll probably have 30% more a new sort of forward setup. And then the rest will be pretty the same. But it's that centre-back partnership. I mean, we leaked 70 odd goals last season. We leaked the most, one of the most in the division. If we'd leaked 10, 15 less goals, we'd be in Europe next season. That for me is the critical bit. It's that I think we've got enough cover for everything else. I don't see 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉 as being the answer for that centre back at all. At all. No disrespect to Caden, but I just don't think he's good enough for what we need. Good for backup, but he's not good enough in terms of being that setup. That sort of, if they want Naif gone, if Naif wants to leave, then let him leave. Make it accessible for people to buy. £38 million, £40 million seems a bit steep for him. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But I thought I'd just put this into the Ethernet and get your thoughts, because maybe I need a bit of reassurance. Or am I right to be ready to press the panic button? I don't know. It's not gaslighting at all. It's just literally my thoughts. And that's why I love YouTube. So we just put the thoughts out there, and I'm sure I'm going to get some really interesting. And maybe we'll do a follow-up next week, getting your thoughts about, don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Anyway, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. Come on, you irons.